The debate of whether or not baptism saves is an age-old discussion with nuances ranging from infant baptism, full submersion versus sprinkling, and so on. The words baptism and baptize occur 31 times in the New Testament, and if we cherry-pick any of these verses, we can make a case for either side of the aisle. But if we take a look at Scripture as a whole and truly believe that faith in Jesus Christ alone saves, it becomes quite clear. Baptism is merely a symbolic physical act of our spiritual salvation and a welcoming into God's fold, similar to that of physical circumcision in the Old Testament. I want you to hear this great clip of Dr. Michael Heiser correlating baptism and circumcision, where he makes a great case for the true meaning of baptism.
Now, what about the meaning of circumcision? So what did it accomplish? For males, circumcision granted the recipient admission into the community of Israel, the community that had the exclusive truth of the true God. This truth included Yahweh's covenant relationship with Israel and their need to have circumcised hearts, in other words, to believe in Yahweh's promises and worship Him alone. Membership in the community was important for a specific reason. Only this community had the truth, what Paul calls the oracles of God in Romans 3, verse 2. Only Israel had the truth in regard to the nature of the true God among all gods and how one could be rightly related to Him. Election was not equated with salvation, since, again, vast multitudes of elect Israelites were not saved from God's curse in response to their unfaithfulness. Every Israelite member of the exclusive community had to believe in the covenant promises and worship only Yahweh, trusting that relationship to result in an afterlife with their God. Circumcision merely meant access to these truths. Now let's apply this to baptism. It's easy to see how the meaning and significance of circumcision connects to baptism, whether one's position includes baptism of infants or not. Baptism of an infant makes that infant a member in the believing community, a local church. Hopefully that church will teach the oracles of God, the way of salvation, so that the child will hear the gospel at one point and believe. The hope would be the same for an adult recipient. When Abraham and his entire household, even his servants, were circumcised, the account does not tell us who believed in Abraham's God and who didn't. The assumption was that as the members of his household observed God's blessing on Abraham and Abraham's faithfulness, then they too would believe in what was going on. Membership in the family of God would both foster and sustain faith. These were God's goals for the Old Testament people of God, the nation of Israel. And the same is true of the people of God today known as the church. The sign and rite have changed, but the theological point is the same. So by way of conclusion, taking the meaning of both circumcision and baptism as basically doing one thing for recipients, and one thing only, that is, putting them in the community of faith so that they hear the truth. Doing that divorces both circumcision and baptism from salvation.
I think that's beautiful, honestly. All debates aside, we can all agree that belief in Jesus Christ and His work on the cross is our only means of salvation. But baptism not only serves as a symbolism of our salvation, but also as a sign to our brothers and sisters in the faith that we are part of the same family, the family of Yahweh. I pray that this video has been a blessing to you, and may God shine His face upon you and give you peace.